Hello, it's your host Caleb with Thank Bold, and we're here with owner, Mr. Kevin Waters of the 95ers.
Hey, how you
So
doing?
I'm doing good. Tell me how you been feeling lately.
Man, I'm good, man. I'm living on cloud nine. Team just started the season, man, and
Yes, sir.
excited about the source of entertainment we're gonna bring to the city.
Yes, sir.
Quality basketball, man, and
Yes, sir.
the game's gonna be a lot of fun, man.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
So tell me, how do you go about just on a daily basis, just providing the quality and providing the vision to the team? What does that look like?
This process has been over a year,
Yes, sir.
so it's been slowly, just making sure building the infrastructure of the organization.
Yes, sir.
Starts with administrative staff. I have a wonderful administrative staff. Have wonderful, supporters of investors with me.
Yes, sir.
So it's been like it started there. As far as the basketball side of things, basketball is something that I've been doing for years.
Yes, sir.
So it's something that I know how to gradually work my way into.
Yes, sir.
It was the business side of things, man, that was the most intriguing, and it got me up in the morning, man, and I'm just so excited to kind of work on that aspect of the 95ers.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so building those relationships in the city, with corporations, with small businesses,
Yes, sir.
it's just been a wonderful experience for me.
Yes, sir. I understand. So tell me about how much this means to you, because of course, you being the owner, some people look at you as this large figure, like, oh, he owns this team. But I know that you understand that this is way bigger than you. So how long has this journey of making it to this position been like?
Wow, it's funny you asked that question. This started back in 2008.
Yes, sir.
I started a team called the Jacksonville Blue Waves.
Yes, sir.
We played in the World Basketball Association. We went 8-0 that year.
Yeah.
I got a phone call in the middle of the season. Hey, coach, man, y'all doing a wonderful job down there in Jacksonville.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, the teams in our league don't want to come down there and play you because they know it's a loss and they don't feel like traveling, because we're the only team in Florida. Everybody else was based out of Tennessee, Georgia, and South Carolina.
Got you.
So with that being said, man, the ABA, the American Basketball Association, Commissioner Joe Newman,
Yes, sir.
reached out to me. He was like, Kevin, doing a great job. I would love for you to bring professional basketball in the ABA to Jacksonville. Partnered up with Ron Scholes.
Yes, sir.
Started the Jacksonville Giants.
Gotcha.
7 national championships later.
Yeah.
3 Coach of the Year, National Coach of the Year. We still hold the record for the most points scored in professional basketball.
Yes, sir.
222.
Wow.
That was a great experience.
Yes, sir.
But God has led me to this opportunity here.
Yes, sir.
To start my own and to bring in people like yourself, the kind of young people, to kind of educate them on the sports industry, because I don't want the 95ers to be the end story for some of my young people. I want that to be the beginning. I want this to open up the opportunities for them to get jobs in the NBA, things of that nature. So
Yes, sir.
I'm excited about this plight, man. I really am.
I understand it. So one thing that I constantly hear when just going through your work is almost like this flawless record of how you're able to get these teams in such a quality position of just execution. And I know that as a coach, me personally being an athlete on a team at one point, I know that coaching comes with a lot of discipline, a lot of mentoring. But in order to get to that place, you have to have a certain character developed, right?
Yes.
And there's one thing that I constantly hear from you, and I also see in you before I even heard it, is a lot of humility.
Yeah.
And I want to know where does that come from? How was that developed in you throughout your life?
I'm gonna tell you, man. I have a lot of success stories, but
sir.
I have a lot of failures as well.
Yes, sir.
These failures have prepared me for the success stories.
Yes, sir.
I got a lot of no's.
Yeah.
You would think someone with the resume that I have, that the NBA will come knocking on my door, or some high level Division I college job will come, but it hasn't happened for me, and I had to understand that wasn't God's intention for me.
Yes, sir.
Once I understood what God wanted me to do on this, in this basketball realm,
Yes, sir.
I just took ownership of it. And so, I'm very thankful every day of this opportunity.
Yes, sir.
And I'm just, like I said, man, I just feel blessed. I really do.
True. And talking about the no's and some of the failures, can you speak on something that, a lot of people, they want to highlight the success, but what are some of the highlight no's looking back, on them that has projected you? What were some of those events and how did you handle them?
I remember my first assistant coaching job at Mary State University on the women's side,
Yes, sir.
Division One. There's Division One. That's my first Division One coaching job.
Yes, sir.
My first job was at Edward Waters University, but my first assistant coaching job on the D1 level was at Mary State. End of the season, the head coach brought me into the office, and out of nowhere, Kevin, we don't think you are built to be a coach.
Yeah.
We don't feel like you have the characteristics or whatever to become a successful coach. Man, that broke me down.
Sure.
I remember like I mean I went into a deep, I'm not gonna say depression, but it was tough on me for about 2 weeks there, man.
Yeah.
And I really had to come to terms with God and talk to God about what was, and he picked me up and he was like,
Sure.
Kevin, this is your profession.
Yes,
This
sir.
is what I have called for you to do.
Yes, sir.
And that empowered me to become, and every day I think about that moment I walked out of her office and with that rejection.
Yes, sir.
So as I'm cutting down nets and I'm being told, in some circles, hey, Kevin, you the GOAT of minor league basketball and
Yeah.
all this other kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I remember that day. I remember
Yes, sir.
that day, man. So it's something that, that's one of my stories.
Yes,
man.
sir.
Yeah,
I hear you.
tough.
So, speaking and continuing in on that, what are some of the things that you instill into the athletes that come on to your team? What are some of the major points? Like, I want to instill this into them. I know professionalism is one of them, but getting deep to the character, because, some of them may have certain upbringings that present certain challenges. So how do you speak to those?
The main thing I try to install in our guys is the air will come out to basketball sooner or later.
Yes, sir.
What are you doing to prepare? Yeah, I want you to prepare yourself to become an NBA basketball player. I want you to do that from a physical standpoint. Mentally, and from a mental standpoint.
Yes, sir.
But what are you doing to prepare yourself for life after basketball? How are you carrying yourself in the city that you play in?
Yes, sir.
Are you conducting yourself? Being a professional means more than just playing basketball and receiving a paycheck
Yes, sir.
and scoring a level of some points. It's about how you move in the community. It's about how you influence the other kids that's coming up. It's about how you can conduct yourself when you're talking to corporate leaders and things of that
Exactly.
nature. It's about you being an ambassador for the organization that you play for.
Sure.
So, those are things that we try to instill
Yes.
in our players from day one.
Sure.
And to go a little deeper than that, our recruiting, our scouting process, those are some of the things that we look for before they even come to Jacksonville. We making sure we're doing background checks and things of that nature on these players, man. So we make sure we're a high caliber player
Yes, sir.
to the city of Jacksonville.
Understood. And you're born and raised in Jacksonville as well?
I wish I was. No, I'm not. I'm not. I'm not, man. I was born and raised, born in Virginia. I was raised in Charlotte and Atlanta, Georgia, man. Charlotte,
Gotcha.
North Carolina, and Atlanta, Georgia. But like I tell everybody, man, I treat Jacksonville like it's my own. Jacksonville has embraced me. I have a spiritual relationship with the city.
Yes, sir.
And it's something that, as far as I'm concerned, I am from Jacksonville.
Yeah, true.
Dubai.
True. Yeah, true. So going to your early life. So I know that when you were 5 years old at your grandparents' house, dribbling the basketball,
Yeah.
out in the country, like you said, that's when you had that spark for the love for basketball, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, I want to go into how was your upbringing like to kind of foster that path into basketball? What was that like?
Man, basketball has shown me parts of the world, parts of the United States that I would never had the opportunity to have exposure to. And it hasn't been an easy road. You know, I'm like everybody else that put on a basketball uniform young. I want to play in the NBA. You know what I'm saying? So I had to go through my heartaches and headaches, and I was fortunate enough to get a scholarship opportunity to Fisk University, FU in the building.
Yes, sir.
But we did. I was there, was captain for 3 years, both for basketball and baseball. And led the nation, in assists that year, about my senior year.
Yes, sir.
So that was a great experience for me.
Yes, sir.
After that, I tried a professional, had a couple of workouts, things of that nature. It didn't work out well for me because at the time, I couldn't put on weight back then. I was about 175 or something
True.
like that. I was just, they weren't having that. I'm going to get 6'5" guards, about 210, things of that nature, man, because back then everybody wanted a big guard.
Yeah.
But with that being said, the opportunity for coaching presented itself, and it's something that I took by the horns and just ran with it.
Yes, sir. So growing up, who were your early mentors and figures that you looked up to, like mother, father,
Man,
grandparents?
I'm just like everybody else. Don't get me to crying up in here, man. But
Yes,
I've
sir.
seen my mom go through certain things in life, man, that it has taught me a lesson
Yes,
in
sir.
reference to, never give up.
Yeah.
I don't care how many times you've been knocked down.
Yeah.
Get up. You know what I'm
True.
saying? Keep fighting. As long as you got that fight, and she's always had that fight in her, man.
Yes, sir.
She's a retired school teacher now, so salute to my mother, my grandfather, my grandmother. Yeah, they've all been very, inspirations to me, man.
Yes, sir. I
Yeah.
got you. So what were some of the things that were instilled in you at a young age that you still carry to this day that you would just like to communicate with everyone you pass to just carry that on as well?
To respect those who came before me, to understand that I'm standing on the shoulders of other people. You
Yes,
understand
sir.
what I'm saying? This ain't something Kevin Waters made. I
True.
ain't the first to do it. I'm not gonna sit around and say, I'm the greatest at whatever I do. I know, before me, there was plenty of coaches and owners and GMs and basketball executives out there that tried to make things work, and for whatever happened, whatever reason, either God, uplifted them or things didn't pan out well for them. So I know how humbling that is.
True.
So in my career, man, that's why I work hard every day.
Yes,
You
sir.
have to work hard every day in your craft and understand who you are and understand that, as good as you were yesterday, there's always opportunity to get better.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
And around your 20s, what was your lifestyle like? So prior to getting into coaching, getting into that field, what was your early adulthood, development looking like?
I spent, wow. The transition for me from player to coach started before me even knowing that it started.
Yes, sir.
Wild story. My senior year of college, 2 games out of my last game, we got on a bus at Fisk to go play against Russ College.
Yes, sir.
We get on the bus. My coach had a heart attack, passed away. They said, Kevin, I need for you to become the coach because I was the captain. He said, we had an assistant coach, but he was like the dean of the school.
Yeah.
Fisk great academic school,
Yeah.
but sports, we just kind of take our time with sports.
Yeah.
Yeah, but with that being said, I took it. We went down to Russ, and I had a coach be a player coach, and that just opened up the doors, and that opened up my paradigm in reference to what I wanted to do later on in life. Yeah,
Yes, sir.
so I used that. Like I said, I tried out for a couple teams, but in the back of my mind, I was like, I need to go ahead and jump into coaching. So I
Yes, sir.
did, and God has been blessing me ever since, man.
True. So as far as you having these leaders and people in your life, like your mother and your grandparents, who was very instrumental in catalyzing the process of your coaching career? Who was someone you met that really opened those doors up to you to make those substantial leaps and bounds for
Wow.
where you are now?
I'm very thankful for all the coaches and GMs and basketball executives that I met, but I am here to say that the person who has mentored me doesn't even know who I am.
Yeah.
Pat Riley.
Pat Riley.
I'm very big fan of Pat Riley. I consider him a mentor. I studied Pat Riley since his days with the Lakers,
Yes, sir.
and his plight, with being an executive, being a coach, going to the Miami Heat, being a coach, stepping into, an executive role with the
sir.
Miami Heat, and how he's handled himself and conduct himself. Pat Riley is more than just basketball. Pat Riley is a culture. If you
Yes, sir.
realize they got shirts that say cultural on it, and I believe that, and that's what I'm trying to establish here in Jacksonville. That's why I build the connections that I have in the community
Yes,
because
sir.
I think it's very important that as a coach slash owner, whatever you want, my title is.
Yes, sir.
You know what I'm saying? You want to have those relationships throughout, man, because they go a long way. They go a long
Yes, sir.
way. Yeah.
So when it comes to being in the basketball and the sports industry, you've had your evolutions from player, coach, and now owner. So you pretty much rose up all the
But yeah,
ranks.
yes.
Now, one thing I want to ask is, what is something that keeps you grounded off the court? Because sports, and even when it comes to being creative, right? The art is an extension of you. So
Right.
if you're in a good place, the art is going to be in a good place.
Amen.
So if you're so great as a coach and having a lot of success as a coach, what are some of the off-court successes that you have to tend to on a daily basis to keep you at this level?
Well, it first start with my Savior Jesus Christ.
Yes, sir.
It start with my prayer with Him. It start with my devotion every morning with Him.
Yes, sir.
Getting up in the morning, allowing Him, putting God first,
Amen.
allowing that to build the foundation for the day.
Yes, sir.
You know, I have I have three beautiful daughters,
Yes, sir.
and I have a granddaughter out there, man, and they are my inspiration.
Yes, sir.
And you know, I am so focused, you know, because of those four. You know, along with the rest of my family, man. So
Yes,
I
sir.
don't want to take this for granted. Nobody in my family for granted. We are a small unit, but man, they are my inspiration. And when times get hard and times get tough, I'm always thinking about them. I'm
Yes.
always thinking about them, and I'm always trying to pull myself up, man.
Understood. So at the moment that you had your first daughter, how old were you?
I was 21.
21. So around then is when you were transitioning to coaching, or were you still a player at that time?
No, I was coaching. I was coaching at that
Yes, sir.
time. Yeah, but I wasn't coaching. I coached at Fish, and then I left Fish, and I ended up starting. I started my coach career off at the YMCA.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so I ended up coaching there for like a year or two, and then a high school opportunity presented itself.
Understood. At that time, the birth of your first child, what kind of changes and what impact did that have on you while you're growing in your professional career?
I had to be something.
Yes,
I had to be something. I had to be something. It was more than just me, you know, waking up every day,
yes, sir.
being selfish and just saying, okay, I'll go through the day as I, you know, whatever route. Uh, a child gives you purpose. It
Yes,
gives
sir.
you an opportunity to say, hey, you know, I want to leave a legacy for my children.
Yes, sir.
So, you know, I woke up with that passion, man.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
So, with all that being said, just your whole life in the unfolding, the evolution, the no's, you know, the successes, and now you being in this position, it's still a road ahead, you know,
Right,
and
right.
still
Of
a lot
course, a
to
lot.
go forward.
Thank you for noticing that.
Yes, sir. And you're in a great place through all this as
Yeah.
well to equip you for it.
Yeah.
And that's why I want to go into more also is the new missions, the vision now that you've been equipped for to take the team now into the G League. And tell me, when did that come about and stuff? And to be honest, I didn't know too much about the business of basketball, about being able to transition teams and even probably establish an NBA team in Jacksonville, if that's possible.
That's the goal.
Yes, sir.
And whenever it's God's will, it's gonna happen.
Yes, sir.
So, you know, God has asked me to carry this opportunity to bring professional basketball to Jacksonville at its highest level.
Yes, sir.
So that's what I'm gonna do, and I'm a challenger on each end.
Yes, sir.
But to answer your question, this started back in 2012, 2013, when I was with the Jacksonville Giants.
Yes, sir.
I had made great relationships with the Orlando Magic.
Yes, sir.
I had them come up to one of our home games, put them in a nice box, you know, and they treated them showed them a good time. I think we packed out the arena that night, man,
Yes, sir.
about 15,000. It was nice. It was nice. We won, but I remember, the Orlando Magic coming back to me saying, "Hey, Kev, that was a great presentation, but we just don't think the Jacksonville nightlife was higher, was where our players need to be at and stuff like that."
Yes, sir.
And that threw me off. I'm like, huh?
Yeah.
And, you know, me being so passionate about the city. I'm like, what you mean? I can show you that your players will have a good time here. You know what I'm saying? But I just think that was just something for them to say, you know, give them a reason why or whatever, man, because we did a great job. And so it started back in 2012.
Yes, sir.
Me trying to bring a G League team. At the time, it's called D League.
Yes, sir.
Developmental League. Trying to bring that here to Jacksonville.
I get you. So for some of us that may not know how that whole process goes, what is the criteria to lift that team up to the next lead and proceed to go higher?
Have an arena, having a following, having strong infrastructure as far as your organization, have strong ownership group,
Yes, sir.
and being able to have some people that you got to be more than just a you got to have, yeah, you got to know your basketball, but more importantly, you got to know your business as well.
Yes,
You know
sir.
what I'm saying? And finding someone that knows basketball and business is a tricky thing.
Yes, sir.
Usually it's one or the other, you
Yeah.
know. But when you get somebody that understands the complexity of both and know how to bring both together,
Yes, sir.
then that's when you got something special.
Understood. Yes. So that I'm not gonna lie, you put me onto a whole lot and stuff.
Okay, cool.
So,
Appreciate it.
and the finalizing of the story that you told us and stuff like that. And thank you for the insight and the wisdom that you've given so far. And I want to say, with this being a bold movement that you're taking, a bold vision,
Amen.
what is your strategy to just execute? What is your plan to execute now?
To lock in with the community.
Yes, sir.
Like I said, I'm always gonna put God first, but to lock in with the community, build partnerships, man, build relationships. Because basketball, yes, the season is a 4-month season, but basketball for me is a 12-month. It's an all year round experience.
Yes, sir.
And I want our guys out in the community, man, doing community service work. I want us out there, man, feeding the homeless. I want us out there being at other businesses, events.
Yes,
I
sir.
want us at the other major sporting teams
Yes,
out
sir.
there, supporting them. I want our presence to be known in the city, not only the city but the state of Florida and the United States.
Yes, sir.
We're gonna wear that Jacksonville pretty hard. We're gonna wear that on our chest pretty hard, man. And that's some things that we have instilled in the players. That hey, man, we are about the growth of the city, about the state. So. Looking forward to it, man.
Yes, sir.
Looking
Well, I
forward to
thank
it.
you for
Appreciate
this
you,
interview,
family.
Mr.
Yes,
Kevin
sir.
Waters.
Yes, sir.
And to all the bold thinkers, thank you for tuning in. Until next time, think bold.